members to try and
our guests as well. I want to welcome them and thank them for their introductory remarks, and to obviously we must all empathise with women or anybody in receipt of any service for which they have a continued life-changing issue. And without saying any more, could I just ask a question? At this stage, how many post-mesh cases are being dealt with? Have they been recorded in here in the south and in the island of Ireland? That's the first question.
Who wants to take that? Again, if someone, you're very welcome, Terry. Mary, if your team and Terry, your team, if you just indicate to me who wants to answer, you don't all have to answer, So.
I understand the question correctly. How many people are injured? Yeah, I give the NHS England stats because the HSE does not have any data. There's a common problem with data collection prior to the electronic records which means the first decade of mesh implantation is on manual records, so nobody wants to go back into those manual records. There's also a problem that these surgeries weren't given the correct code, so even if you went back into the records, you may find that it has been logged under a general women's surgery rather than a specific code for mesh implantation. So that is why I give the stats of NHS England for the last decade, and there was I think I said, was it 100,000, and that the complication rate is 15 to 20%. That was given by the CMO of England. The North doesn't have stats either. They have some stats just for the public healthcare system, and it was roughly, they had 10,000 women in the North. And of course, that's only the public healthcare system. A lot of women have had these surgeries also in the private healthcare system. There's absolutely no statistical data for that hidden sector.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bernard?
Thank you. You kindly told us about full removal versus partial removal.
Yes.
To what extent does the partial removal continue to take place, if at all? And that's a separate question. Yeah? Go ahead, please.
My experience from the women in my group from the south is that nobody has been offered a full removal of their surgery. And those people who already have had a partial removal, which might just be a very small portion of the mesh, that the surgeons are reluctant to not only do anything more with their mesh, but they're reluctant to do any surgery with them. So we have the added problem that when women get older, their organs start to prolapse, and in surgeons, because of the contentiousness of the surgery, new surgeons don't want these patients, they don't want to operate on these patients until they've had their mesh issue resolved. So there's lots of women who have extreme prolapse, and they're being sent to non-surgical options in the system.
Terry, anyone for you?
Sure.
Well, it's the same.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the south, it seems to be mostly directed towards partial removals only. I've read on the paper myself, as probably you have as well, over the week, that 7 was done here in the south. But any time we've ever asked for any credentials on it, on success rates or complication rates, or how many had been done, we were never given any statistics on it. So it's my belief that it's just partials is being complete at the moment.
It would appear, Chairman, that there's a huge lack of data and information and advice in relation to this entire matter. And I would be strongly of the opinion that there be an immediate appraisal of the entire numbers on waiting lists, the entire number of people who have had treatment, the nature of the treatment, and the result. And in order to put that data in order to address the issue fully, I think that data is required. Can I ask if it is possible for that to be done in short term?
Okay, thanks very much, Bernard. Okay, going to move on. Our next one is David Cullinan.
Or Margaret, you're
No,
very
wait a
welcome.
second, Chairman. I'd like the answer first. Can that be done?
There is a problem because the women who are now trying to get their medical records to find out which implant they have, there's 3 or 4 main types, and then there's lots of different products. So not every product is identical, and for a surgeon to remove them, they need to know what product they're going to be taking out. And a lot of the women, when they get to their medical records, the implant sticker, which is meant to be adhered onto the surgical sticker sheet, is missing.
May I also add? I have been seen 4 different specialists through 19 years, and not one of the specialists connected the mesh to my injury. And even when I attended 2 mesh inquiry clinics, I was told in the second one, which was is Holles Street, that my injuries were nothing to do with my mesh. So if the women are being told that their injuries are not connected to mesh, then they don't know. So there needs to be a general information campaign in the general media in order to inform women, because their doctors are not informing them.
Okay, thanks very much. David.
Chairman, how many minutes each do we have?
Sorry?
How many minutes each do we have?
You have 5 minutes. Your 5 minutes is up, Bernard.
I know 5 minutes are up, that's right. Just in conclusion, can I just say that the lack of information, of data, and the entire scenario seems to be surrounded by a lack of information, failure to address the issues, and so on. I don't want to make too much of a comment, other than just to say, Chairman, that is an appalling vista from anybody looking in from the outside, that women should be treated in that fashion, and that women continue to be treated in that fashion, and that women continue to be applied to waiting lists in that fashion. That doesn't solve the problem.
Okay.